Jack, you were there for the action today. George Santos says goodbye. The implications here are important, but before we get that far, maybe you can just speak to the unique nature of what we saw today and the fact that it happened without a majority of Republicans, including the leadership. What went on?
Yeah, it was a little confusing heading into it. You heard earlier in the week the X, formerly known as Twitter, rant by the former congressman who seemed sure that he was going to lose. When he went onto the floor, he fielded very briefly a couple questions about the fact that House Republican leadership was not planning to vote to expel him, and he just kept saying he didn't know what was going to happen. He didn't know what that meant. It was a little less certain than it appeared at first, but it was still a very substantial vote, well over 300 votes. They needed between 280 and 290 to get to the two-thirds level. So it was maybe slightly anticlimactic, but given the fact that there was hesitation because he hadn't been convicted of a crime, it was a little bit of a confusing situation, and it did not seem that he knew for sure what his fate would be until the votes were actually cast.
Well, it did feel up in the air also because Speaker Johnson came out right before the vote and said, I am not going to expel. Now, we know that leadership in Congress said, vote your conscience on this. But it does, between him and Steve Scalise, it did feel like they were nudging their party to maybe keep him in the seat.
Well, it's hard to read the tea leaves on that. I did not hear from members that they had been nudged, but when there's not a whip count, when there's not a whip position, that's when it gets very confusing. That is when you can't really predict. So the fact that leadership did not say, vote this way or that way, but then made it clear that they were not going to vote to expel, that looked like a little bit of momentum in his favor, despite George Santos having believed that he was going to be kicked out. So it was up in the air. It was a strange day, to be honest. After a lot of close votes for a number of months on a bunch of issues, there was almost, I think, a little bit of fatigue in the press corps. It was a weird day on Capitol Hill, to say the least.
It was a weird day indeed. I spoke with Congressman Bill Huizenga earlier, a Republican from Michigan, who actually voted against expulsion. Annmarie, he told me even dirtbags deserve due process in the United States of America. This is just an incredible day for Washington. And Enda, I wonder what it means here with an even more narrow majority now for the Speaker of the House. I realize he got a seat in Utah last week, but now we're back to 434. How difficult does this make this to avoid a government shutdown, to approve supplemental funding and so forth? There's a long list facing Congress.
Yeah, I think it's going to just sharpen the focus even more, Joe. I mean, we already knew that January was going to be pretty tight for the debate and discussion and votes on the spending and where the cuts can be agreed between both sides. We know there's some important deadlines coming up, and to your point, whether or not the Congress can avoid a government shutdown, and with the Republican majority narrowing the way it is, and it's already a pretty fractured caucus when it comes to the fiscal outlook for the US, I think it has to add to the confusion and the tension around this topic. And I think it does mean that January is going to be pretty interesting for this fiscal debate.
Well, absolutely, because now, Joe, they have one less seat. The majority for the Republicans gets that much slimmer. The job for Speaker Johnson gets that much harder.
Yep.
You know, Enda, you're talking about the fiscal side. We also had an update on the monetary policy side. We heard from Fed Chair Jerome Powell earlier today at Spelman College. Take a listen.
Having come so far and so quickly, the FOMC is moving carefully forward as the risks of under and over tightening are becoming more balanced.
Enda, what did you make of this? Because the markets are doubling down on what they think.
It was really interesting, Annmarie. So basically, it was an opportunity for the Fed governor to come out and say, calm down on the rate cut bets. You know, the markets have really been racing away with the idea that the Fed are going to bring down interest rates probably as soon as March. Big voices out there like Bill Ackman and big banks on Wall Street saying interest rates are going to come down, which obviously is so important for households and businesses. But the Fed governor made the point that, hang on a second, interest rates at the moment are hurting. They're in, the jargon is restrictive territory. But he made the point as well that, look, he's not yet confident inflation. The inflation battle is won. He's not taking off the table the idea that it can still raise interest rates again. The markets aren't really convinced by that narrative. But he's just trying to tell everyone, calm down. Let's just see how the current policy impacts inflation before we even start talking about interest rate cuts, which would be a big turn in policy.
The markets have arguably been over their skis on this issue for some time. Not the first time Powell's had to deliver a message like that, Enda. So I'm just curious, how much of this was in reaction to what you just mentioned, Bill Ackman's comments this week that got the market in a lather?
Yeah, I think it probably was an opportunity for the Fed chair to come out and make that point, Joe, that everyone needs to, let's have a look at what's going on with the data. Let's go month by month. It's clear that the economy is slowing. You get some metrics on consumer confidence and consumer spending. The manufacturing data today, very weak. It's clear there's pain out there. But at the same time, and again, Chairman Powell stressed that inflation is not yet back to its target. That is their primary objective, is to get prices back to where they should be, and then you can worry about everything else. That was the point that he made today. So, as we say, markets might take that for now, but they're clearly betting that the Fed are going to have to be easing X months from now because the economy is slowing down.
Although President Biden, or at least Joe Biden's campaign, thinks inflation has come down. When you look at that tweet he sent out, Joe, that's gotten a lot of eyeballs on Wall Street, rolling their eyes and confused. But, Jack, I want to end with you. It's the start of December. It's December 1st today. They have 1 month left and an insane to-do list in Congress. What actually gets done and prioritized?
Well, they're prioritizing certainly the foreign aid package that would include Ukraine and Israel aid, but it also requires a negotiation on U.S.-Mexico border policy, because Republicans have said that that is the trade-off in order to agree to Ukraine aid. That is a very, very heavy lift. That's something they wanted a deal on about now, and they will have to rush if they can strike a deal on that to actually turn it into legislative text and pass something through both chambers in time to be useful to Ukraine in particular, which needs help in the near term. They're trying to get moving on the defense authorization measure. The good news is there's not a shutdown deadline until mid-January, so that's an unusual little bit of relief. They usually have a deadline then. But it is going to be a busy month in December with a lot to do, and they only have they're only scheduled to come in until the middle of December in Congress.